I was born in Egypt. In fact, according to the source of infinite wisdom, Google, I was born exactly 6,187 miles away from here. I know this might have come as a surprise due to my clearly American name, but I really was born there, and contrary to popular belief, no, I did not float here on a basket. I came here 6 years ago, first living in Cairo and then Dubai before moving. So you might be wondering, why did I leave? Why would I leave? Why would I leave Egypt, the country full of ancient wonders and middle-aged women's favorite vacation spot, to come to this frozen wasteland? What's in it for me? And to this question, freshman me would say, exactly. Why would I come here? I was perfectly comfortable back home. But if one word could describe what I should have done when I felt that way, it would be the word wait. See, it took some waiting and patience for me to realize what moving here was all for and what God had planned for me. That is, an explosion of faith and knowledge, all materialized in Chesterton Academy. You see, I remember my first day as a freshman at Chesterton as vividly as, you would say, a soldier remembers their first bloody, grueling battle. It was Latin class first period, which I experienced. Which I experienced as a scrawny little freshman who didn't even know what Latin was. After class, I looked at the schedule and I found theology next. Theology, I muttered to myself. Wait, like Christian theology? You know, like the one about Jesus? You see, when I went to school in the Middle East, education was completely separated from anything Christian. So when I found out that we were going to learn about everything Christian in this class, that's when I realized that this school was going to be unlike anything I've ever experienced. And as my first day as a freshman proceeded, I realized something terrible, something horrific. I actually have to go out and make friends now. Luckily, I was a kid with a very thick Arabic accent, and so it wasn't long before a few questions were raised to me. And when news about me being from Egypt got out, all of a sudden, everything changed. I started making friends, and for the first time, being the Egyptian kid was not an obstacle to me fitting in, but something that made it easier. But it did not just make it easier to fit in, it made it easier to get a girlfriend, too. As I'm told, my Arabic speaking caused a large populace of girls to swoon. Some even to faint. Let's hope they don't fact check that. Regardless, I was welcomed by the giant warm hug of the community at Chesterton. Through my days there, I learned tons of new things. Like how many wrong versions of my name teachers can pronounce. I mean, it ranged from Bavely Boulos to Bavely Boulos to Bowels and so on. But I also learned many valuable things about myself and the world around me through the classical curriculum of the school. Essence, participles, derivatives, ontology. These were all things that I didn't know about as a freshman, but through Chesterton, I have not only studied them, but I've become proficient in their use and application. But among these great subjects, let's get back to the one that surprised me the most: theology. Chesterton Academy is the very essence of a Christian education, wherein everything has the aroma of Christ. This came particularly as something new to me, being from a place where Christianity is a minority religion. Suddenly, going to school did not mean that I had to hide my faith or store it in the back of my mind as a small part of my identity, but rather, going to school at Chesterton meant living my faith, making my faith my identity as a whole. I learned in Christ, through Christ, and about Christ in my experience at Chesterton. There, I was taught how to live by learning about the source of life. You see, I could have stayed in Egypt and gone to school there, learning about crude oil investments and random passages of the Quran. But I didn't. Instead, I received something greater here: knowledge rooted in truth. Not just arbitrary truths, but the truth, the Word Himself. And for that, I will be forever grateful. And so, my experience of leaving Egypt and going to Chesterton Academy can only be summed up in this Arabic saying: الجيات أحسن من الرايحات, which means what you received was better than what was taken from you. And this is all thanks to the outreach of Chesterton Academy and its strength in making a kid born 6,187 miles away feel right at home, as if he hadn't moved an inch. Thank you.